Hello students, today we will learn a new poem from your textbook First Flight. The name of the poem is Fire and Ice, written by Robert Frost. Before we start this poem, let me give you a brief introduction about the poet Robert Frost. Robert Frost was a famous American poet. He was born in San Francisco on March 26, 1874. Frost was the most celebrated poet in America. His poetical works, A Boy's Will, North of Boston, New Hampshire, A Further Range, Steeple Bush, and In the Clearing increased his fame and honor. The poem, Dust of Snow, was published in New Hampshire in 1923. This collection gave him the Pulitzer Prize. Now, before we start this poem, let me give you the summary of this poem. The poet feels that this world of ours will come to an end. He is not very clear when the end will come. He comes to this conclusion on the basis of what people say on this subject. He seems to show his agreement at what people say regarding the end of the world. On the basis of what people think, the poet believes that this world will come to an end by the two highly contrasting but powerful elements of nature, that is, fire and ice. Either fire or ice or both will be the cause of the ending of this world. Then the poet links these two powerful natural elements to human beings and their emotions. In the first stanza, the poet shows his agreement with those who believe that fire will cause the end of the world. He links the element of fire to human emotions of desire or passion. Uncontrolled fire of passion and desire may lead us to the end of this world. Then the poet comes to the second alternative that can cause the end of this world. It is the ice which can also cause the end of the world. In terms of human emotions, ice means hate created by cold reasoning. Cool and calculated icy reasonings can lead to hatred and can be the cause of the end of this world. The poet himself has experienced both these primal emotions of love as well as hate, fire as well as ice, passions as well as cold reason. He has experienced enough of hate which is born out of icy cold reasoning. In the end, Frost agrees that it doesn't matter whether it is fire or ice, both can cause the end of the world. Ice or hate, born out of cold reasoning, is quite sufficient for causing the end of the world. Now, let me paraphrase this poem for you. Let me read the poem first for you. The lines goes like this. Fire and Ice, written by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So let us go paragraph wise. The first stanza says, some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Let us see the word meanings here. Some. What does some refer to here? Some refers to some people. And in fire, in the end, this world will end in a fireball. In ice, this world will freeze and ice will cause the end of the world. From what I have tasted, here means from his experience. Tasted of desire, experienced passions and desires in love. Hold with those. What does it mean? Stand with those or support those people who favor fire. What does it mean? Those who believe that this world will end in fire. So what is the poet trying to say? He says, the existing world will come to an end one day. People are divided on this issue. Some believe that this world will end in fire. Fire of passions and desire will lead to the end of the world. Some people think that this world will end in ice. Cold reasoning and hate will lead this world to destruction. However, the poet has experienced passions of love and desire. He supports those who believe that fire of passions and desire will lead to the destruction of this existing world. Now coming to the second stanza, it goes like this. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Here the meaning of perish is destroy. Enough, sufficient. Hate, dislike here. Suffice, enough. Okay, now what is the poet trying to say in this second stanza? The poet says fire can bring the destruction of this existing world. But if this existing world has to be destroyed not once but twice, then ice is strong enough to do this job. The poet has seen and experienced enough of hatred in this world. Cold reasoning, devoid of human feelings, can only produce hate. And this cold reasoning is like ice. Ice itself is sufficient enough to cause the destruction of this world. So what message the poet is trying to give through this poem is, he says that fire stands for our unbridled, uncontrolled, unchecked passions, desires, lust and fury. Such passions are disastrous to human beings. Similarly, cold reasonings devoid of all human warmth, love, antipathy will bring, what does it bring? It brings insensitivity, cruelty and rigidity. This hatred will lead to the end of this world. Now let us discuss the literary devices. Now let us begin with the rhyme scheme. What is the rhyme scheme of this, the first stanza? It is like fire, ice. Fire is A, ice is B, and what about desire? Fire and desire rhymes? Yes. So it is A. And fire. So it is A, B, A, A. Same way, twice, hate, ice, great, suffice. So what is it? Twice is B. Let us say, give the name A. What is hate? It is B. Is the word twice rhyming with ice? Yes. So again we call it as A. Is the word hate and great rhyming? Yes. So we give it another name called B. Suffice is rhyming with twice? Yes. So it is A. Now let us discuss the other rhyming literary devices. We also see assonance in the first stanza. That is, what is assonance? Assonance is repetition of vowel sounds in the same line. What is a vowel? Vowels are A, E, I, O, U. The sounds of A, E, I, O, U. These are vowels. Now the repetition of the vowel sound in the same line. The repetition is at different places in different words. Like for example, the long sound of O in I hold with those who favor fire, O, O. So that is assonance. In the same line, vowel sound is being repeated. Now we also have alliteration. What is an alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound at the start of two or more closely placed words. Now what is it? The sound of F. F is a consonant, right? So favor, fire. So this favor, fire is alliteration. Now we also have imagery here. What is imagery? Imagery is used to make readers perceive things involving their senses. How many senses do we have? 5 senses, yes. For example, some say the world will end in fire. So we start imagining the things. To say that for destruction, ice is also great. So that is, when we read the lines, we start imagining the things, and that is called as imagery. We perceive things as we read. We also have anaphora. Anaphora, what is anaphora? The repetition of a word or expression at the start of 2 or more consecutive lines. Like some say the word some, it begins with some, the word some. In the next line also, in the consecutive line also, line also begins with some. Some say in I. So we call this as anaphora. We also have personification. Personification, what is personification? Personification is to give human qualities to inanimate objects. Like in this poem, fire and ice are capable of destruction. Thus, the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them mind and power to destroy anything. That's why it is personification. We also have enjambment. Enjambment, E-N-J-A-M-B-M-E-N-T, enjambment. It is defined as a thought or a clause that does not come to an end at a line break. Rather, it moves over to the next line. Like some say the world will end in fire. There is no punctuation mark given there. It is continued in the next line. That is, in the fire, and it is continuing in the next line saying that some say in ice. Now here comes the full stop. So that kind of lines are called as enjambment. I hope you have understood the what the poet wants to convey the message. With this, we come to the end of the poem. Thank you for watching this video. Stay at home and be safe.